Hello everyone, we're MossCharmly.
MossCharmly. We're going to go through the 20 best pens, brushes, digital art stuff, basically,
Yes.
that you can use in Krita. Just to let you know, this is our opinion, so many times using different brushes in Krita might react differently to you. And that's just relative. You know, sometimes your pressure sensitivities might be different, the way you hold your pen. So
Yeah, or maybe sometimes you just won't even like a brush because it just doesn't vibe with you.
that's true. That's a big deal for sure. So we just wanted to put that out there and just let you know that a lot of these tools we find to be the best, but they might not work exactly the way, you know, they work for us, you know, for you. But
Yeah.
These are really good, so we really recommend these.
Yeah, they're our current favorites.
Exactly. So we're gonna start out with the top 3 that we have in our list.
They're erasers,
They are,
which is funny.
you know? Yeah.
But just a shout out to all the erasers in Krita. There's more, but these are very good. It's the circle eraser, the eraser small, and the eraser soft.
Yeah.
So just to kind of shout out that the erasers are very good.
They are, you know, and they are technically brushes.
Yeah.
So yeah. Then the first
brush. First digital
Let's just
brush
call
we're
it,
using.
yeah, right? It's gonna be the Pencil 2. This pencil is the one I prefer to use. It is part of Krita's standard, you know, bundle that it comes with. And when I use it, I usually will bring the flow down to like 80%.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, and that'd be in the quick settings docker, so I'll just bring it down to 80, yeah. I just feel that it has like a little bit more variation in the, you know, stroke. So, you know, if I'm just gonna lay down some concept, you know, something like, you know, simple to draw, like, you know, a form or anything, just to get everything sort of laid out, I just prefer it this way. That's just my, you know, that's just the way I like it. So,
yeah, it's a good kind of clean drawing brush with like a nice pressure.
Yeah, it's super basic, you know,
honestly.
Yeah. And I don't know, I mean, and with Krita, like any of the brushes in Krita, you can toggle it to an eraser if you want.
Yes.
So that's also something, you know, you just flop it up. And
the eraser here. We have shortcut keys, so sometimes if we're not pressing it, we have a shortcut thing for our 8-bit too. So just to let you know, so you can always erase it. Yeah. So use it as an eraser,
which is neat. So
yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah, so Pencil 2 is a very good brush. Now we're gonna go to this one. This is SK2 02 2B Pencil Tilt.
This is part of a bundle, right?
Yeah, this is part of a bundle, and I think it's made by Ramon Miranda, and I hope I'm saying his name right because I've been known to not say names very well, but his brush is just my favorite brush. This is my ultimate brush. I love using this. So I can say how much I like this brush, that it has kind of, this brush made me really like digital art because I mostly use my physical real-life pencil drawings and I put them into the computer, and I always wanted to find a brush that would work seamlessly with my pencil drawings and not look like I just put something digital on top of it. And this brush really does it, and I kind of wanted to show some examples too of that, of it working like that. So I have an example here. And I'm just gonna draw something over it here on this layer here. And you can see I've done a little bit over it before. So let me get it up here. Okay, so I'm on the pencil and I could just draw over it and you don't even notice.
This is scanned in.
This is scanned in. This is an actual physical drawing
that you did with
that I did with pencil on paper.
Yeah, right.
And it's in the computer, and and I can just draw over it with this pencil, and you don't even know that it's there or that's digital. Like, that's amazing to me because for so long I just sort of just sort of used whatever, and I wasn't crazy about it. But this, and you could see some of the work I've already done when I toggle off the layers. So it's on pencil overlayer, and this is some of the stuff that I've added.
If you turn the original pencil layer
off,
see, you can actually see.
You could see what I've added.
Yeah, right.
And then, oops, and then you could whole group.
There you go.
And then you could see what that looks like. Oops, again. What that looks like all together. Yeah. And also just like how this brush works so well. Like you could see this over the skirt and you can't tell that's not digital. That's wild.
Yeah.
So I will say the SK2 bundle brush has changed my whole feelings.
2B,
yeah. That brush, the tilt brush really.
This comes in that bundle, and we're gonna put that in a link below in the description, right?
Yeah, this is a brush that comes with the bundle that you have to download. So
you'll find it on the Krita YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's
we'll put that link.
Yeah, under his description in the video.
Exactly.
So that's where you'll find it. So I'll go back to this. Back to where we were. So that brush is called SK2 02 2B Pencil Tilt. So that is wonderful. And also in this are more of these pencils. So the next one we're going to show is the
SK2-3 2B Shader. SK2.
Oops. SK2-03 2B Shader. And I think this is tells you what it is. It's shades. It's pretty much shades, but I will say this goes from dark with pressure to medium. It doesn't go very light. So just to keep that in mind. So when you're using it, it's dark to just kind of to medium. And again, I can use this on my traditional art that I scanned in, and you can't really tell I'm using it.
No, it's so neat. I mean, it really keeps the correct, like a relative grain.
Yeah, right?
You know?
I love, we both really like texture in our art.
Yeah.
So most of our brushes have a lot of texture, or the ones that we really like have texture. So see, that was the addition of that grainy brush, and you can't really tell
not at all.
That's not like, that's not digital, that's wild. That's, that's digital. Okay, so that's a good brush. So,
you know what? We forgot to put the flow back.
Oh, we did. So just to show again.
Yeah. It's got a lot more.
It's got a lot more
variation.
So you can do pressure lighter.
Yeah.
See?
That's nice.
Yeah. So that's true. So that's also why when you move the flow, and sometimes you do that, you'll see a difference in how it'll work. Now we're going to the next one.
Is SK2-6, and this is that grainy shader. So it's got a little bit more grain, but it's not as like loose. It doesn't feel as bulky, or I don't know. That's how I would describe it. It doesn't go super dark, but it's got a nice grain.
Yeah, it does.
So it really emphasizes the texture over the volume. It seems like that's really nice. And using all these in tandem. You know what I mean? But that definitely is going to make a seamless look.
Yeah, it does. You could add it to your pencil art, and it has a grainier texture to it.
It works out really well.
Yeah, so it gives a lot of cool depth and texture to your work with pencil.
Cool. Next one, eh?
Yes, next one we've got SK2-07 Ghost Lines.
This is the Ghost Line one. This is the one you really like.
I like this one.
This is like for gestures and stuff, right?
Yes, I like this one for gestures. Gestures the most.
The gestures.
I'm having a time. So this one is great for gesture drawing. So you can just go all out.
Wow, that's a neat edge that it has.
Yeah, and it has that sort of flow thing that I like, and that kind of like ghostly lines.
Yeah.
So that's
it's like when you hold your pencil and you're moving it fast across the paper, it does actually sort of will change that angle naturally.
Yeah.
When you're holding it, and if you're doing, studies, when you're in the, yeah, it totally works. That's really neat.
Yeah, you can
It seems more natural too. It doesn't seem so very
stiff, kind of.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's not
So you
stiff
can
at all.
do some fun kind of gesture drawing with
You just
that.
let it flow and let it go. That's cool. No, like really, you know.
Yeah,
you can really
but that
feel it.
that sounds very like, ooh,
Yeah,
flow and
kinda
let it
groovy.
go.
It's
Yeah.
groovy, man. It's
I like
groovy.
that.
Exactly. That's really cool.
Okay.
So that's the SK2
Ghost line.
7 ghost lines.
Ghost
Nice.
lines.
There we go. That's cool.
That's
a happy ghost.
That's our happy ghost.
Exactly, because it's a cool pencil. It's a happy
Yeah,
pencil.
happy pencil, happy ghost.
Next one.
Next
Part of the
one.
same bundle, SK2-11, but this is like the Stump Grainy. So this is a blender, right?
Yeah,
So like ultimately, you can actually like blend any of the ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you can blend with this brush. You can
This,
go.
yeah, right. This is the one where the harder you press, the more intense the grain
Yes,
shows
check
up,
this
the
out.
lighter, Yeah.
Or
You
here.
should zoom in.
Yeah.
Show it
this-
real good.
So this is cool because the harder you press, it gives this like powdery spray paint kind of texture.
And it's blending it all at the same time.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But if you go and you bring the
So I
brush
can-
down just to show it even more detail.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I could take that off, make it smaller,
Yeah.
and just sort of lightly blend it.
Yeah. That's really nice.
Yeah. Again, I use this as my blender mostly too.
So it sort of when it's really big, it can be really like spattery, spittery kind of huge texture. But in the right circumstance, this blends really well, especially with the textures.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, and the harder you press, the more intense that grain gets. But that's really nice.
I know, right? And
That totally seems like a smudger, like one of those smudger sticks, the paper ones.
right?
Yeah, that works.
And it's neat the crazy texture, like when you press really hard. That's
Yeah.
kind of a cool look. Like
Yeah.
you can make some
Yeah,
cool stuff with that.
Some effects stuff if you want. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of cool. That's cool. It's a cool one.
that's a cool one. So I like that. Okay,
The
next one is
Oh, these are the colored pencil ones. These are cool.
I like these. Again, these are all from SK2, the SK2 bundle. These two.
They're
So
really good. It's a great bundle.
yeah, we really like this. It's a really good bundle. So SK2 15 Waxy
color
ColPen.
pencil.
Yeah,
And it's got the little asterisk or star there or something like that. There we go.
we go.
These are the real cool ones that blend, right?
Yeah, like they lay really nice. Like, check it out with different colors. They're just really neat. The other one has an auto blend.
Oh, that one has
This,
the
but like, look at how nice the color pencils
It does
they
blend,
do
though.
blend. They
that blends very realistically, too.
Right?
Do you know what I mean?
just wait till you see the.
That's like an oil pastel almost.
Yeah,
Like it has that
do you know,
kind of an effect.
that's how I would describe it. I would describe
nice.
it kind of like a chalky oil pastel, and it's kind of just
It's got that happy accident
It-
happening in there.
it does.
It's a cool one.
That's why I really like this. Like, these are the brushes I kind of feel like you can make some sort of secret masterpiece.
That blends nice. We said all of anything.
Yeah, with anything.
Your heart's desire, your imagination gone
Right?
wild. It's fantastic.
Now this one's neat.
I like this one.
This one's cool. This was called SK216 Auto Blend Color Pencil or ColPen.
Yeah.
So here's see when I'm writing, you can kind of see it has a dustiness effect with it, which is kind of cool.
It is. That's neat.
Yeah.
Definitely altered, its opacity and its texture with it. So its opacity and its pressure are completely synonymous with its texture. That's really cool.
I'm gonna change the color, make it bigger, and I'm gonna show when you lay this down, and you can you can go from dark to very light with this, and the colors blending because are very much.
This is the waxy one.
Yeah,
this
is the auto blend.
Got it.
So it kind of just does it so naturally and nice. So again, with those colors, has a nice effect. And the more you kind of go over it.
We'll do something like a turquoise or
Oh
something.
yeah, let's do real
Like a
different.
nice, right. Some turquoisey.
There we go.
Yeah, just to see how. Yeah, see, because look, it'll actually pull in more of that. Yeah. Okay, this is cool.
See, and with pressure, you can go much darker. But I love how that looks. That's really cool.
Yeah, that does.
So I will say you can make some really pretty art with the auto blend color pencil.
Totally.
Yes.
Totally. Now, the next one is the Bristles-4 Glaze.
Ah, yes.
This is my absolute favorite brush. I use this on every single thing I do. The reason is that when we're coloring our artwork, this is the one I prefer to use because of how it layers on top of itself. I'll often alter the opacity or the flow just to sort of get a variation of look, but that's kind of how it is. I like this because it's sort of a mixture of almost like a gouache, but it's definitely got, it's definitely a glaze, meaning like glazing, you're sort of, a light color over it. That's what glazing is, when you're doing oil painting, if you're doing glaze, or like a Grainy method when you're going from, color, you're adding color to an illustration that's all values. But I love this because the texture really is excellent when you color with something like above it. For example, if you don't mind, could we go to that one? Oh, I'm sorry, the other one. I'm so sorry. This one.
Now this one's I'm working on.
This is really good, exactly. But it's perfect because this is below the pencil layer. We've turned everything onto the alpha. But if you could paint the sleeve just to show, pick a cool color, nice. There you go.
I'm just having fun.
There you go, yeah. So what you can do and see this is that it actually does have a lot of really good layering effects. And you can just, by the pressure, you can really just slightly build, you can build a little. It's really quite cool. So I really appreciate a brush like this because of how, how you can just put it down really lightly, it'll blend really well. It works really well with other brushes, so it really is something that I use the most.
Yeah, I agree. I've been using it too a lot. It's mostly what I've been using to paint with too. So, so a lot of this is actually used with that, with the Bristles-4 Glaze brush. Yeah. So it's kind of funny that that's something we're both using.
I'm definitely leaning toward.
Yeah,
I really like it. Yeah. I think it's a good brush. So, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving on to the next one.
Okay.
We're going to go to charcoal. What is it? Charcoal Rock Soft.
Yes.
This one's cool. I like this one because texture again, as you can tell. We
do love our texture brushes.
This is the Charcoal Rock brush. Rock Soft brush.
Charcoal Rock Soft.
When I'm if I use this as an eraser as well. Because I like how the texture is, so it's kind of really neat.
And that's the cool thing about Krita. You could use any brush you're using, and you can use it as an eraser.
Exactly. So it's really nice, and it works together. I like how it works out if it's really soft, like if you actually are able to, just go really lightly, on it. It's just really neat the details that you can get and the variation.
Yeah.
So it ends up being something where you can get a nice look. It's just about creating the right texture with the right, values and hue.
Yeah, and you can get a lot of depth with that.
Yeah, I like that a lot. The next one is going to be the Dry Bristle Eroded.
Yeah, right? Dry Bristles Eroded. This one's a really fun, unique one.
It's the one that has experimenting. This one's awesome.
Yeah, this one's like have fun experimenting with this one. You could just see it as I'm just writing this, that it's really a fun brush. It's like it's one of those brushes too that that kind of has that spin to it,
Yeah, like it follows you.
It follows you. That
follows kind of that angle and wraps around kind of a thing.
Yeah, like it does the spin or rotates. It does the rotates.
Yeah. See?
So it's a really cool brush, and you could change the size.
It totally changes how
and it
works.
Changes it too, the look of it.
It's really a neat brush to me. I think it's got a really interesting effect that can lend itself to experimentation and sort of even, elaborating on an existing idea where you can, so I'm kind of at a bit of a loss. This thing will just sort of flow, and just go with it. Look at that. You can really, really pull out some really nice work with something that you wouldn't expect you could.
Yeah.
See, that's great.
And again, you could use you can use it as an eraser.
Yes, always.
Yeah.
Some of these brushes are really amazing as erasers.
Yeah, they are actually.
Really are. So, super cool. What's our next one?
Our next one.
There it is.
Dry textured creases.
Yes.
Okay.
I always don't say this one right. So dry textured, I always say greases. I don't know why. It's just because it looks like a G to me.
You know.
That's me and my vision. Yeah. This one's really nice. Of course, another textured brush. But this one actually is neat because if you want, like, say, a patina on something, this is a really good brush for patinaing. You know, it gives a good variation. It's something that its speed and pressure sensitivity varies how that pressure, will lay down a different texture, how your speed will lay down a different texture. So it's something that, you could really have a unique look. If you're looking for something, you want to make it grungy, put a little, texture. So it's a good brush to work with. It blends really well with itself. So yeah.
It does have that really kind of neat, like, texture to it with it. Like, I like that.
It works.
Yeah, it's a cool brush.
Give it a try. Definitely recommend this one.
Yeah.
And then our next one, all the charcoals. Just got to throw this out right now. All the charcoal brushes that come standard with Krita, absolutely incredible. This one is the charcoal pencil large. Now this for me is something that I actually use the most. I'll use this as an eraser the most. I love how this can erase things, and with its pressure variation, it'll go from light to dark. And I really just appreciate it a lot as just an eraser. So because I just like that kind of texture, like if you're dealing with like watercolors, or if you're dealing with, something that you want a paper grain, this can really sort of, it doesn't feel destructive to what you've been painting or drawing. And I also like it just to, work out just ideas too. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it's a cool one. It's a good brush.
Yeah, I really like it.
So the next one,
charcoal pencil medium.
Yeah, this is what's so funny.
Right?
Yeah, they're all variations of it, but they're very cool.
I think they have very specific uses too. I think the charcoal pencil medium, that's definitely something that's more about detail. If you want that texture of the charcoal, but you want something that's got a little bit more detail to it. You want to refine your shapes, refine, the look you're going for. Yeah, it's just easy to use it. And it's easy to control too. I really do like how the pressure control works on these guys, very much. I like it. It feels very natural. It has more of a Conti pencil.
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it.
Because it's not really like a charcoal, because, you get the hard press, it's different. And so I just think this is more like a Conti, to be honest. And those were always awesome. I love Conti pencils. And then the charcoal pencil thin.
Yeah, that's the next one.
Super thin. And this one's like super detailed, but it's also a little bit lighter too. So it's like you can actually, lay down a little bit different of a look. So this is for the super fine itty bitties, like eyelashes and little irises and like little things, teeny tiny little things.
Hairs.
Exactly. And this in conjunction with the pencils, it's amazing how that it all works together, And if you can see, we obviously have a theme of brushes that we prefer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so we like those as different brushes.
Now, this one's interesting. This is the wet bristles. Now, this is cool. I usually use this personally when I'm painting. It's kind of like a bristle brush, obviously, but it's more of like a filbert tip, so it's got a little bit of a roundness to it.
This for anybody who does IRL painting, oil painting.
Oil painting. It'll blend really well like that, but that's a perfect thing. Like if we can go back to the illustration we had before, that would be awesome. Now, if we come into here and pick that color,
the hot pink.
Whatever. Yeah, exactly. You can actually, or could we pick the purple?
Heck yeah.
So sorry. Let's take one of those. Thank you. And then what will happen is you can, let me try. Thank you. It actually will blend really well. So like if I'm coming in here, I'll actually use this to blend, and even out some of these, sometimes the actual color will be a little bit off, from, like it'll just have a little bit of a hard line. And that's what I use this for the most. I'll come in and use this just to sort of work on some of these harder edges, and get that blend right. So
yeah, it very much pushes. I will say that it's kind of a paint, or it's a brush that pushes the paint. Like if it's wet and then it just sort of pushes it.
It does. It does. I like it.
Yeah.
Personally, that's just me.
So it's cool.
It's up to your your preferences. But I just wanted to show how that would work.
That's neat. And you could add more color with it. Like
and
that's
it blends really well too.
Yeah, and it kind of blends it. So it's kind of a neat random thing of just you can press harder and it'll lay a darker shade, and then you could just push it in the direction you want it to go.
It's nice.
So that's a cool thing with that.
It's kind of like a wet acrylic.
Yeah.
But it blends a lot faster than wet acrylic would, if you're going wet on wet, like that technique, in IRL. But, this works really well. So,
yeah.
Just got to say, one of those really good brushes.
Okay.
And then the next one's very similar. So this one is the Bristle.
Wet Bristles Rough.
So this one has a bit of a similarity, to the last brush, of course. This mixes exactly the same way, but has a bit more of tooth to it. It's almost like it's a harder bristle. Sometimes if you're dealing with, in real life, if you're dealing with a hog hair brush or a synthetic brush, sometimes those bristles are much denser and you'll kind of have a little bit of a scrape. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And the bristle itself will sort of pull up and you'll have a little bit of your canvas below. This has the same sort of effect. And I appreciate that because I use this for blending. If you have a high texture, this is great for hair. If you want to do a bit of hair, if you're working with that kind of a thing, it's really a nice brush.
A neat thing to mention with it, like it seems to pull, like for an example, it seems to pull it looks like it pulls white, like from the page in it. But when you turn off the background, you can see that it's transparent.
Yeah.
So it's actually not pulling the white from the background. It's actually transparent.
So that means that it'll actually be influenced by your background
too.
So if you actually have your canvas, make sure you have a toned canvas, or your page, your background has the tone that you would like,
Yeah.
And that works well with flatting. So if you have your solid flat, you've got your mid-tone, you can actually, color your flat in its mid-tone and then add your lights and darks with this brush if you want a higher texture. There we go. Next one. Ooh, okay. Now this is cool. These are the last two.
Yeah,
wow,
they are. We went through this.
Yeah,
okay.
Wow.
This one is the Pixel Art brush. And here's the example. I mostly use this for flats.
Yes.
So, for example, I have a flat on this and the other picture too. So that's what the, like taking all that off, this is what the flat is. It's a not transparent. It's
like the silhouette that you want.
Yeah, it's a silhouette of white.
Flats.
So we just call it flats. And I will paint the flats, or I will use...
we use the flats to have a contingent for its alpha
painting,
layer.
Yeah.
So if you're painting, you can paint, and that's why we use this in the little group on Krita. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, sometimes...
So that flat layer.
Sometimes with the flat layer, I'll sort of have too much over it. So I'll also use it as an eraser. So I put on an eraser and I will just erase the flats that are too much.
Like it's overlapping
that
the
are
line.
Overlapping the line. So you'll notice that in a lot of my pictures that I don't always do it.
You miss it.
I miss it.
Kind of natural.
Pretty much. So that's kind of what I do with that. So you'll notice that in a lot of pictures, that is a great brush that you'll always have. Nothing really gets by it. It's kind of
what it
like
is it's hard line. There's no rasterization on that edge. So when you're actually erasing or, putting down the color, like sometimes it'll be too little, like your selection might be too small and you want to add to it.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a rastered edge. And when you're filling or when you're selecting, you don't want a rastered edge.
Yeah.
You don't want that sort of faded edge that happens when you're using something like this.
Right.
So,
and you can add to it too. So I will also take out the eraser and say I'll have like
it has to be on white. Yeah, make sure it's on the color that your actual flat.
Thank
layer.
you. Thank you.
No,
so
normal.
And I'd be on flats and I would add to it. So I'd go in and add to the flat layer that I needed. So I could
There's
just
no
do
pressure
that.
sensitivity. This is just
It's just
solid.
Yeah, that
You
is
lay
just
it down,
what you get.
That's what it is.
And so that is really mostly what I use this brush for. So it's super handy. It's super handy. So that is
super cool.
That is that brush. So that's what mostly what we use for the pixel art brush.
There we go. Cool.
Okay.
Now our final brush, right?
Yes.
This one is the sketching one.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the fun, crazy one.
I
love this one.
I know, right? This is a great one. So.
Oof. Yeah. Super cool.
Sketching.
That's cool.
One chrome thin. Oh, we've talked about this.
Yeah, a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
This is one of those really cool brushes. Just for fun.
This is a brush to get you out of your head. So if you put it on a dark color like black, see how it's neat. So if you have it on a fun color, it'll make a rainbow. And if you put it on black, you'll get a black and white kind of look. And it's so neat because you could just draw any shapes.
Yeah, these are great for like blocking out concept art. Like if you just kind of are in a block, and you're like, I need some good silhouette shapes to sort of work from for, concepts.
Yeah.
You just fool around with this and then be like, okay, what can I fit inside there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, oh, I wonder what that is. Oh, that's machine. Oh, that's person.
Yeah.
Whatever, thing you're really working on. But ultimately, as you can see, this can do a lot of stuff that, once you get used to the actual brush,
you can make a lot of cool stuff.
Obviously make some very cool stuff. I mean, right?
Yeah, you can really like go to town. It's a fun one. It's really fun. It just gets you out of your head. I've seen people make some amazing things with it.
Yeah.
But they'll do like multiple brushes and or just different colors with it, and they'll kind of overlay it, and it's so cool.
See? There we go.
So yeah, that's what that brush does.
Yeah.
So
I think that's our full 20, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
I think it is.
Yeah, so that's what we got, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this.
And if you have any brushes you guys, or everyone thinks,
yes,
anybody
share
out
what
there,
you
please,
like.
anybody, if you have ideas for brushes, please let us know, because, we definitely want to learn about different brushes because there's just such an amazing
There's so many people making brushes in Krita that it's practically endless, and you'll always find something amazing.
Yeah,
and we'd love to test them out too, and tell you what we think, or we'd love to hear what you think of them, brushes.
Please let us know what you think of the brushes we selected too. Good
Yeah.
or bad, please do. I mean, it's okay. It's all good. It's all relative to the artist itself. Okay?
Yes.
Whew.
So have fun making art.
That's all that matters,
That's
right?
all that matters.
That's all that matters. Have fun, make art, right?
Yes.
Fini.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. MossCharmly out. Have a great day, everybody.